You have been watching the market. You have seen what happened to the Cessna 150. You have seen what happened to the Cessna 172. You have seen what happened to the Piper Cherokee. Prices have doubled, then tripled, then gone completely insane. A decent Piper Cub that sold for $15,000 10 years ago now brings 60. A Beechcraft Bonanza that cost $50,000 is now $150. A Cirrus SR22 that was $200,000 is now $400. You look at the classifieds and you wonder if the numbers are real. They are real, and they are climbing. But here is the question no one is asking. Is there anything left? Anything affordable? Anything a normal pilot with a normal job and a normal budget can actually buy without taking out a second mortgage? The answer is yes, but you have to look in the right place. You have to ignore the noise. And you have to be willing to accept something that the market has rejected. The last affordable plane on Earth is not a Cessna. It is not a Piper. It is not a Beechcraft. It is an airplane that most pilots have never heard of. The Aeropract A-22 Fox-Bat. Let me tell you about this machine. It is a two-seat, high-wing, tricycle gear ultralight. But do not let the word ultralight scare you. In the United States, it is registered as a light sport aircraft. It has a Rotax 912 engine, 100 horsepower. It burns 3.5 gallons per hour. 3.5. That is less than a lawnmower. It cruises at 90 miles per hour, not knots, miles. That is slow. But here is the magic. It stalls at 30 miles per hour. It takes off in 200 feet. It lands in 200 feet. You can operate it from a grass strip behind your house. You can fold the wings, you can trailer it home, and you can buy a clean, low-time Fox-Bat for $35,000. $35. That is the price of a new Cessna 150 in 1995. Adjusted for inflation, that is a steal. But the Fox-Bat is not the only one. There is another, the Pipistrel Virus SW. This is the Ferrari of light sport aircraft. It is made in Slovenia. It has a carbon fiber airframe. It has a Rotax 912 or 914. It cruises at 140 knots. 140. That is faster than a Cessna 182. And it burns 4 gallons per hour. 4. The efficiency is almost unbelievable. The Virus has been around for years. It has broken records. It has flown around the world. But most American pilots have never seen one. Why? Because Pipistrel focused on Europe. Because the light sport market in the US was slow. Because dealers came and went. But the planes are out there. You can buy a used Virus SW for $50,000. 50. That is half the price of a Cessna 172. And you are getting a carbon fiber rocket ship that sips fuel like a motorcycle. Let me give you a third option. The RANS S21 Outbound. This is a kit plane, but you can buy it already built. The S21 is a 4-seat, high-wing tail dragger or tricycle gear. It has a Titan engine, 180 horsepower. It cruises at 130 knots. It burns 7 gallons per hour. It has a huge cabin. It has a useful load of over 1,000 pounds. It can take off from a sandbar, and you can buy a used Flying S21 for $70,000. 70. That is less than a Piper Archer, less than a Cessna 172. And you are getting a modern, all-metal or fabric aircraft that outperforms everything in its class. The catch? It is an experimental. Some people are afraid of experimentals. Those people are missing the point. The S21 is built by amateurs, but many amateurs are better than professionals. They take their time. They care about every rivet. They are building for themselves, not for a production line. A well-built S21 is better than a factory Cessna. I stand by that statement. Now let me talk about the elephant in the room. The reason these planes are affordable is that the market does not trust them. The Fox-Bat is foreign. The Virus is foreign. The S21 is a kit. The average pilot wants a Cessna because it is familiar. Familiarity costs money. You are paying for the name. You are paying for the support network. You are paying for the mechanic who has seen 1,000 of them. That is not nothing. But it is also not worth the premium, not when the alternatives are this good. Let me tell you about the Foxbat. I have flown it. It is bizarre. The control stick is between your legs like a fighter. The rudder pedals are adjustable. The visibility is panoramic. You sit high, you look down. You feel like you are in a bubble. The flaps are electric. The brakes are hydraulic. The engine starts with a key. It feels like a real airplane, but it flies like a kite. The controls are light. The response is immediate. The stall is a non-event. The nose just drops. You add power. You recover. There is no drama. And because it is a light sport aircraft, you do not need a medical certificate. You can fly with a driver's license. That is a game changer for pilots who have lost their medical. That is a game changer for older pilots who do not want to deal with the FAA bureaucracy. The Virus is different. It is fast. It is slippery. It is efficient. But it is also fragile. The carbon fiber is strong, but it does not tolerate abuse. You cannot bounce the Virus on landing. You cannot hit a pothole on a rough strip. You have to treat it like a precision machine. That is fine if you fly from paved runways. That is fine if you are a smooth pilot. But if you are rough, if you are learning, if you make mistakes, the Virus will punish you, not with a crash, with repair bills. Carbon fiber is expensive to fix. That is why the Virus is cheap to buy. The owners want out before something breaks. The S-21 is the practical choice. It is built for backcountry. It is built for abuse. The landing gear is robust. The fuselage is steel tube. The fabric covering is repairable with a patch kit. You can land on gravel. You can land on grass. You can land on a beach. And the plane will not complain. The S-21 is the spiritual successor to the Piper Cub. But it is faster. It is more comfortable. It has 4 seats. And it costs less than a restored Cub. That is absurd. A Cub from 1946 with fabric that needs replacing and an engine that is tired sells for $60,000. A flying S-21 from 2018 with a modern engine and modern avionics sells for $70,000. Which one would you rather fly? Let me pause here. I want you to think about your own mission. Be honest. How many times do you actually fly 4 people? How many times do you actually fly at night? How many times do you actually need to go somewhere in weather that would challenge a light sport aircraft? Most pilots fly for fun. Most pilots fly on weekends. Most pilots fly when the sky's blue and the wind is calm. If that is you, why are you paying for a Cessna 172? Why are you paying for a plane that can do things you never do? You are buying capability you do not use. That is a waste of money. Go to the comments. Tell me your real mission. Not the fantasy mission, the real one. How many seats do you actually need? How much speed do you actually need? How much runway do you actually have? The answers might surprise you. Let me give you a reality check. These planes are not for everyone. If you need to carry 4 adults and baggage across the country, the S-21 works. The Foxbat and the Virus do not. They are 2-seaters. That limits you. If you need to fly in icing conditions, none of these work. They are VFR or light IFR at best. If you need to fly at night, the Foxbat is not certified for night flight in some configurations. You have to check the specific aircraft. If you need to fly in the system, in the flight levels, over the mountains, these are not your planes. These are low and slow planes. These are fair weather planes. These are planes for pilots who fly for fun, not for transportation. But here is the question. Is that you? Be honest. How many times do you actually fly 4 people? How many times do you actually fly at night? How many times do you actually need to go somewhere in weather that would challenge a light sport aircraft? Most pilots fly for fun. Most pilots fly on weekends. Most pilots fly when the sky is blue and the wind is calm. If that is you, why are you paying for a Cessna 172? Why are you paying for a plane that can do things you never do? You are buying capability you do not use. That is a waste of money. The last affordable plane on Earth is the one that matches your actual mission. Not your fantasy mission. Not your ego mission. Your actual mission. 2 people. Local flights, weekend trips, grass strips, fun. That mission is served perfectly by the Aeropract A22 Foxbat, or the Pipistrel Virus SW, or the RANS S21 Outbound, or any of the other light sport and experimental aircraft that the market ignores because they are not Cessnas. Let me tell you about one more, the Just Aircraft Superstol. This is the extreme version of the backcountry plane. It has huge tires. It has leading-edge slats. It has flaps that go to 50 degrees. It can take off in 50 feet. It can land in 50 feet. It can operate from a helicopter pad. It is ridiculous, and it is wonderful. You can buy a used Superstol for $60,000. 60. That is less than a new car. That is less than a used Cessna 150. And you are getting an airplane that can go anywhere. The beach, the mountains, the gravel bar, the cow pasture. You are not tied to paved runways. You are not tied to airports. You are free. But the Superstol is slow, 80 miles per hour. That is walking speed for aviation. You will not go anywhere quickly. You will not go anywhere far. You will go to the next valley, the next river, the next campsite. That is the mission. If that is your mission, the Superstol is perfect. If you need to get to a business meeting, buy something else. Let me pause again. I want to hear from owners of these forgotten planes. Do you own a Foxbat, a Virus, an S21, a Superstol? Tell me about it in the comments. What did you pay? What do you love? What do you hate? What do the Cessna pilots say to you? And if you are still saving for a traditional airplane, tell me why. I want to understand. Because I believe the last affordable plane on Earth is waiting for you. It is not in a museum. It is not in a collector's hangar. It is on Barnstormers. It is on Trade a Plane. It is sitting in a field somewhere with a for sale sign in the window. Here is my point. The affordable planes are out there. They are just not the ones your flight instructor told you about. They are not the ones your friends are flying. They are not the ones you see at every airport. They are the weird ones, the foreign ones, the kit ones, the ones with folding wings and Rotax engines and fabric covers. They are cheap because the market is afraid of them. That fear is your opportunity. I want you to think about the math. $35,000 for a Foxbat, $50,000 for a Virus, $60,000 for a Superstol, $70,000 for an S21. Compare that to the Cessna 172 at $90,000. Compare that to the Piper Archer at $80,000. Compare that to the Diamond DA40 at $200,000. The affordable planes are half the price. They burn half the fuel. They cost half as much to insure. They cost half as much to maintain. Over 5 years of ownership, the difference is tens of thousands of dollars. That is not pocket change. That is a college tuition. That is a new car. That is a down payment on a house. But you have to be willing to learn. You have to learn about Rotax engines. You have to learn about light sport regulations. You have to learn about experimental maintenance. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty. You have to be willing to call a mechanic who specializes in something other than Lycoming and Continental. You have to be willing to be the weird guy at the airport with the weird plane. That is the cost of affordability. It is not a financial cost. It is a social cost. Are you willing to pay it? I have paid it. I own an airplane that most people have never heard of. I land at airports and people walk up and ask what it is. I tell them. They nod. They walk away. Some of them smile. Some of them look confused. I do not care. I am flying for $50 an hour while they are flying for $150. I am taking off from grass strips while they are stuck on pavement. I am having fun while they are worried about their resale value. That is the trade. I made it. You can make it too. Here is my final thought. The market for traditional airplanes is not coming back down. The Cessna 172 is not going to be $30,000 again. The Piper Cub is not going to be 15,000 again. Those days are gone. The only way to fly affordably now is to fly something different. Something the market has not discovered. Something the market is afraid of. The last affordable plane on Earth is out there. It is waiting for you. Go find it. Go buy it. Go fly it. Before the market discovers it and the price goes up forever. If you own one of these forgotten affordable planes, tell me about it in the comments. Tell me what you paid. Tell me what you love. Tell me what the Cessna pilots say to you. If you are still saving for a traditional airplane, tell me why. I want to understand. Because I believe the last affordable plane on Earth is waiting for you. It is not in a museum. It is not in a collector's hangar. It is on Barnstormers. It is on Trade a Plane. It is sitting in a field somewhere with a for sale sign in the window. Go find it, go buy it, go fly it, before it is too late.